In this video, I'll discuss Q4 FY25 result and Concall of DP Abhushan. So, DP Abhushan is a MP-based retail jewelry company. In the recent year, they also expanded in Rajasthan and they are looking to expand in Gujarat and Chhattisgarh in the coming years. In total, they have 10 stores, 5 in MP and 5 in Rajasthan. So, let's talk about the result of Q4 FY25. Okay, so in terms of revenue, in Q4 FY25 they grew their revenue by 29%. They registered a revenue of 717 crore. So in terms of growth, if we see, if we compare it to Kalyan and PN Gadgil, Kalyan having a higher base, like they have 400 stores, and they grew at 37%, but DP Abhushan having 10 stores in total, they grew by 29% in this quarter. So in terms of growth, that is really disappointing. In the last quarter they grew by 40%, over 40%, so that was a okay kind of a result, but in this quarter Q4 the growth is absolutely very disappointing. So that is the point here. And if we compare it to PN Gadgil also, PN Gadgil having have around 50 stores, okay, they grew at 59%. If we calculate the real growth of PN Gadgil, that should be at 59%. So yeah, in terms of growth, DP Abhushan in this quarter really disappointed me. Okay, so that is the point with the revenue growth. But in terms of the whole year revenue growth, they grew by 41%, which is kind of a okay kind of growth, because they have very low base. I would like a kind of 50-60% growth. Okay, so in terms of revenue, full year revenue, they grew 41%, which is at par average result for me, to me. Okay, so that is the point with revenue. And their guidance is also, in the Q3 the management gave a guidance of 20 to 25% of revenue growth in the coming years. Yeah, it is a conservative guidance from the management, but yeah, if I look at their growth also, they are conservatively giving a guidance of 20 to 25% guidance. Okay, but anyway, if we take it as a normal, that should be around what, 30, 35, 40%. So just they just have 10 stores, and if they grow around 40%, to me what is the best option, Kalyan or DP Abhushan, or PN Gadgil or DP Abhushan? Obviously Kalyan or PN Gadgil should be the answer. So that is the point I am wanting to convey to you. So that is the thing with revenue. In terms of volume, if we see, in terms of volume, gold grew by 15%, so that is a good number. If we see in Kalyan and in PN Gadgil, that should be around in a single digit, less than 10%. But in terms of DP Abhushan, gold volume of gold grew by 15%. So that is that point. In this point, DP Abhushan did a very good job if we see. So that is the point with volume. In terms of store expansion, now they have 10 stores. As far as FY25, okay, in last 1 month they have opened a new showroom in where I do not remember the location, but yeah, they opened another showroom. So for now they have 11 stores, okay, and they are looking to double their store count in next 2 to 3 years. So in terms of store expansion, that should be around 30 to 20 to 30% growth in terms of store expansion. So that is also very less. If we see, Kalyan is looking to expand their store at a 50% growth rate. In terms of, if we see PN Gadgil also, they are looking to maintain the store growth rate at 50%. But DP Abhushan, that should be around what, 25 to 35% for say, if we calculate. So that is another thing where they should be better, because they have really a very low base if we see. So that is the thing. And they are also planning a QIP in next 1-2 years, and they want to use whole QIP amount for expansion. So that is a good thing, that they are looking to expand. They are looking to use the whole amount for expansion. But yeah, expansion growth rate is very less if we see, if we compare it to the bigger players like Kalyan and PN Gadgil. So that is the point. In terms of gross profit margin, they increase their gross profit margin by 180 bps. So in terms of margin, they are doing a good job. If we see, gross margin should be at a maximum level, highest level in the company future. I am not sure, but yeah, 9.32% of gross margin. Last quarter that was 7.83%. So in terms of margin, they have done a quite good job. And in terms of, one another thing is that they are increasing their gross margin for last 3 years. Okay, so that is also a good thing, that they are consistently increasing their margins. In terms of PAT, they registered a PAT growth of 55%. So if we see the revenue growth, they grew by 29%. In terms of PAT, they grew by 55%. So there is a good kind of operating leverage, if we see. So that is a really good point, that they are getting the operating leverage. And in the last quarter also they got the operating leverage, and that was really good kind of operating leverage in the last quarter also. Last quarter they grew by 41% in terms of revenue and 123% in terms of PAT. So last quarter also there was a good kind of operating leverage. And in the last few years also, if we see last 1-2 years, if we take last 1-2 years, they have a good operating leverage. So that is the point. And in terms of, as I said, in terms of PAT margin also, obviously there is operating leverage. So PAT margin increased by quite a good number, by 60 bps. Okay, they registered a PAT margin of 3.5%. So that is the PAT margin and PAT. In terms of valuation, if we see, if we compare it to Kalyan, if we compare it to PN Gadgil, Kalyan is trading around 70 to 80x PE, and Kalyan have the highest base of, they have around 400 stores. PN Gadgil is trading around 30%, not 30, it is around 40x. Okay, and they have around 50 stores. So if we look at their growth, Kalyan grew at around 40% in this year. PN Gadgil grew at around over 50% if we calculate their real growth, because there is a confusion in the growth number, but in the real term they grew around 50 to 60% in this year. And if we take DP Abhushan, they grew around 40%. Yeah, in terms of PAT, they grew at a much higher pace. But again, if we take the revenue number, DP Abhushan is trading around what, 30x. So anyway, if we see the growth number, why I would choose DP Abhushan over PN Gadgil and over Kalyan? There is no point, because Kalyan having a bigger base, they are growing better than DP Abhushan or at line with DP Abhushan. PN Gadgil have a slightly higher base. They are growing around 50-60%. So DP Abhushan having just 10 stores, there is no point that I would like to invest money in a company which have a lower base, really lower base, and growing at par with the bigger companies. So that is the point. Yeah, if in the future DP Abhushan able to grow their sales at around 50-60-70%, then I will consider DP Abhushan. But for now, it is not considerable. Okay, that is the point. In terms of PE also, if we compare it to PN Gadgil, in terms of PE also, they are likely in a similar range. PN Gadgil is trading around 40x, DP Abhushan is trading around 30x. So in terms of PE also, I am not getting a very good deal in terms of PE valuations also. So that is the point I am trying to say. Okay, so that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.